Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 2 of season 3 of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode, episode 49 overall of this series, and today we head back to the Bahrain International Circuit, ready like I said for the second round of season 3. If you guys missed out on the Australian Grand Prix that went live last week, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out ready as we head into the second round of the season though. And Bahrain has been an interesting track for us in the past. In Season 1, we were running up in 10th place until the final lap where unfortunately we faced a puncture. And then in Season 2, just a very rough race at the end of the day, P14. The AI, this is a track that they're very strong at. It's a track that's really difficult to try and manage the tyres as well. So we'll wait and see as to how we fare in today's Grand Prix. But yeah, obviously if you guys are new around here and you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you do get yourself subscribed as well for more F1 2019 content on the channel. I'm going to try and, sort of, if I can, up the episodes on these series a little bit more, so, twice a week ideally, here and there, but, we'll wait and see as to how that all pans out at the end of the day. But I'll be honest, quite looking forward to heading back to this Bahrain circuit for Season 3 for one reason, and one reason only, and that is the engine that we have now got strapped to the back of this HAAS car. Very strong in the F1 world at the moment is this HAAS power unit. You can see coming out of free practice, able to pick up, some decent points there. 240 points at the end of the session there. A couple of purple scores, quite a few green ones as well. Takes us back over the 1,000 point tally as well in this Bahrain Grand Prix weekend. And I know I got some stick last time out because I said how I was going to save some points for the chassis, brings the upgrade prices down, everything like that. I can confirm I will actually be doing that this time around, so hopefully you guys don't laugh at me once again for completely forgetting that. I think at the moment we're still definitely looking at the long game in this HAAS Road to Glory career mode as well. So certainly, trying to bring down the upgrade prices, everything like that. I'm really banking on a R&D change for Season 4. Ideally, if we could, 2 sectors. I don't know if you could get 3, but honestly, as much change as we possibly can is really the aim at the moment to try and propel ourselves up through the order as well. But, we're only round 2 of Season 3 at the moment. We're certainly trying to play a long game at the moment. But let's jump on then. It's time for round 2 of the season. We're ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Bahrain qualifying is nearly upon us, and the drivers look as if they're all geared up to go. I expect we'll be getting underway very shortly.
So like I said, yeah, this track hopefully should suit our style a little bit this weekend. We got a lot of pace in the car. Recently, Australia was certainly a good building stone, a good building block to start the season as well. I think, we finished P12 in that Grand Prix. It could have been P11 as well. So we're definitely on the cusp of fighting for points. Like I said, the aim through Season 3, I want to be trying to fight, consistently for points, everything like that. If we can pick up a few points here and there, more and more often, I will certainly be very happy with that, as I think they only had about 7 or 8 points finishes. It might have been about 9 or 10 at the end of last season, but yeah, it certainly wasn't the best time in the world for us. And heading on though into qualifying them for the Bahrain Grand Prix, like we did at Australia, gonna first of all go out on a set of the medium compound tyres here in this Grand Prix. Wanted to just see what we could do. Luckily around this track as well, the medium compound tyres, we should really only be losing a lot of time in sort of the twisty bits, the middle sector, everything like that. Apart from that, the straights, you're not really going to gain much on a set of the soft compound tyres here. But, as you can see, coming through the final couple of corners of our lap on the mediums, it had actually been quite a tidy lap, I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day. No big mistakes, nothing like that. Only 2 seconds of Sebastian Vettel there on a 24.7. That is absolutely insane pace that the racing points are once again showing this weekend there. And you can see as we head towards the end of the session, we had a bit of a dilemma at the moment there. You can see we're actually 3.5 tenths clear of my teammate Roman Grosjean there, who was on a set of the soft compound tyres. So we had really able to ring out a good lap on this set of the mediums here. And you can see with just a couple of minutes to go though, everyone else starting to go out on their second runs once again here. And I had to take the gamble at the end of the day there. Fortunately, it wouldn't have actually been required, as you can see coming through the final couple of corners of my second run there. We were down in P15. Everyone else behind us had completed their laps, if I'm not mistaken, so we would have got into Q2 just about on the set of the medium compound tyres. But, we played it safe at the end of the day, moved ourselves back up into safety there. 4 tenths, and we only moved up 1 place back ahead of, I think it was Daniel Ricciardo at the end of the second session there. Sorry, the first session, sorry, I even should say. And yeah, Sebastian Vettel on a 24-2. That is absolutely insane pace by the Racing Points at this stage of the session there. But we are going to ride on board then with my lap from Q2 here. Obviously my fastest lap from the session. And really around this Bahrain circuit, you sort of start your lap through the final sector of the lap 4. Make sure everything is all charged up, batteries are ready to go, revs on at max, everything like that. Out of the final corner, starting it in 4th gear, cycle back up through the gears on the long run down towards T1. I can't get the words out as we head down this long front straightaway there. 215 miles an hour as we break down in towards turn 1 there. Pinch the front wheels, but do get the car slowed down nicely towards the apex there, and just really trying to manage the wheel spin as you come through turn 2 and turn 3 there, up this next straightaway there. Still back up into 8th gear, braking just at the 100 meter board there. Back down into 2nd gear, trying to get the car rotated nicely, tidy through there, but a bit of wheel spin on the exit. I can see we're already about a quarter of a second down from Nico Hulkenberg, who's in provisional pole, obviously in Q2 at the moment there. Once again, just pinching the front wheels there. This time around, can't quite get the car down on to the apex there, but luckily you can give yourself a bit of a straighter run, and we get nice drive on the exit of the corner there. So at the moment, it's been an okay run through the first half of the lap there. Get really good run out onto this next straightaway. You see over what I think is one of the alternate pit lanes around this circuit here. I think there is another start-finish line down at that straight, and as we now head back up the hill here, weaving through the S section. Really got to try and get it right, get as close, but don't clip that curb there on the inside. And now in towards the final sector, you can see we've lost a good 1.3 seconds to Nico Hulkenberg there. That Racing Point is just so quick, absolutely everywhere around this circuit. As we now come down in towards the final couple of corners, brake once again at the 100 meter board there. Try to get the car nicely over the curbs as you head through the final corner there. And the long run back down towards the start-finish line. Activate the DRS as soon as possible. And that is going to be P13 once again then for the second round of the season. It is back-to-back P13s in qualifying here, and I'm guessing we're sat behind both Racing Points, both Red Bulls, both Renaults, both Ferraris, both Williams, and both Mercedes there, with both HAAS cars in P13 and P14 there. And if I'm not mistaken, it's then both McLarens, both Alfa Romeos, and both Toro Rossos. Everyone seems to be in a little bit of a window at the moment there. The only teams in sort of some alternate places there were Red Bull and Renault, nicely split between the pair of them there. But yeah, a little bit weird at the end of the day, sort of the formation we found ourselves in at the moment here. But it is P13 then, ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Hopefully, just maybe, could points be on the cards today. 29 laps will tell us, and hopefully we will find out nonetheless. So here we are then, ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And like I said, 29 laps ahead of us here tonight in this beautiful circuit. The lighting on F1 2019, I must admit, Bahrain does look absolutely incredible from a lot of angles as well. Obviously quite a dusty circuit at the end of the day, and that I think generally shows up quite well on the F1 2019 game as well here. But really looking forward to this GP weekend. There are 3.362 mile circuit here in Sakir, and like I said before, this track we've never scored a point round here in the 2019 career mode so far. Like I said, we were running in P10 in the points, and then on the final lap we got a puncture in Season 1. They're heartbreaking at the end of the day. I think we limped home in P18 in the end there, and Season 2 just lacked ultimate pace around this track, and it was only P14 at the end of the day. But certainly at the moment we've got a lot of, we've got high hopes coming into this Grand Prix weekend. You can see Lucas Weber though, after winning the last GP out, I'm sure he's looking to try and take home another race victory here. But whether we'll wait and see, Ferrari, I'll be honest, it was a bit surprising, the momentum they maintained in the first round of the season. I don't think anyone was really expecting them, especially after winter testing, to really be as high up the order and fight for the win as they did there. And having a look then at the grid ready for round 2 of the season, it is Max Verstappen on the pole. Not too often do we see him on the pole there, but Lucas Weber in P2 ahead of Bottas in 3rd and Gasly down in P4 there. Hulkenberg and Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc, and then the two Williams of Lando Norris and Sergio Perez round out the top 10 there. Ahead of both Mercedes, both HAAS cars, both McLarens, both Alfa Romeos. No, the Alfa Romeo, Raikkonen, Albon, and then Giovinazzi and Kvyat there. A little bit mixing up towards the rear of the field as well there. But we're ready then. It's time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am for this one. And yeah, a long race ahead of us though, nonetheless. We've really got to be careful with the tyres around this circuit. So hopefully we can have a good, solid race out. And the game, luckily for me, is recommended the one-stop strategy. Obviously not making it through into Q3 does give us that bit of flexibility in today's race here. And the one stop, the medium onto a set of the hards is the way to go, at least from AOR, from previous experience, even I should say. And we are going to go for about 2 laps extra fuel. There are a lot of straights around this circuit nonetheless, so we've definitely got a chance to try and burn that as well. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The 5 lights are on, and it's 5 lights, and away we go. There's kind of no time being wasted here on the grid there, and that's meant that we have not got off to a particularly brilliant start there. No shocks as we head down in towards turn 1. I'm getting a little bit eager under the brakes there, have to take evasive action around the outside, and that's been 2 races in a row. We haven't quite had the run down through the first couple of corners there. It's certainly been a bit harum-scarum once again though, but this time around we do actually move up places there, up into P12 of the Grand Prix right off the start there, and I will certainly take that one as we head through the first couple of corners there. You know, last time around we were almost out of the Grand Prix by T2, but this time around we've made up places, which is certainly a rare occurrence in the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode there, and you can see everyone on this opening lap still just bunching up so much as we head through the first couple of corners here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty certain the glitch is still there from, you know, in qualifying. If you're not in the session, the AI go back to their Season 1 default, so Red Bull actually having a tremendous job, you know, muscling the Ferraris there. I don't think, in all honesty, it has been patched, you know, at least in our career mode. I know there's a few things that sort of work if you start a career mode after a patch, but not if you do it beforehand, and obviously this has been done since before day 1 here, so we've definitely, you know, a couple of little things like that we might still have some issues with, and I think definitely if I think at the moment we ever do win the you know, the championship with HAAS, we might go for a full reset on F1 2019 nonetheless there. But coming down in towards the final couple of corners of lap 1 though, and we have kept it nice and tidy in the end after the opening couple of corners there. Max Verstappen does lead the way there, and you can see already on the minimap he's got quite a big advantage, but the racing point already up into P2 there, really going to show the pace that Lucas Weber has got in that car there. I think that's him up to P2. It might be Sebastian Vettel, his teammate, as we head through the first couple of corners though. We've kept it nice, clean and tidy, and now we need to try and focus on closing up the gap to Devon Butler just up the road here. And unfortunately it wouldn't actually be the Mercedes in front that we'd be focusing on in the early stages of this race. It would actually be Daniel Ricciardo just behind us here. He's going to try and have a look up the inside in towards the final couple of corners of lap 3 there. I think he's timed that really well. I'm not too sure who's going to have the DRS as we head out of the final corner there, and it is actually the Mercedes man just in front of us. Obviously during his F1 return here, he's really timed that quite nicely there, but just look at the HAAS power unit as we head down in towards Team 1. They're back around the outside. We have a look. They're trying to get the car slowed down nice and tidily, and Ricciardo gives us the room around the outside. We are definitely going to capitalise on that, use the run through the first couple of corners there, and yeah, we do hold on to P12 in the early stages of this Grand Prix there. But this at the moment was the battle on the medium compound tyres here. Devon Butler was looking like he might have to try and go for a very risky 1-stop. More likely though, the 2-stop would be coming out by the other Mercedes man here. So we were, you know, really, you know, it was between Ricciardo and myself at the moment on the mediums for the comfortable 1-stop strategy here around this Bahrain International Circuit there. And talking about the 1-stop, Ricciardo straight back up the inside as we head onto lap 7 of this Grand Prix. They're able to slot right back up in front of me here, really able to capitalise on what was quite a poor run out of the horrible double left-hander there downhill, trying to get the car broke, you know, sort of slowed down even nice and tidily as we head through those couple of corners here. But we are still all over the gearbox of Danny Rick as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of lap 7 here. We're going to try and squeeze him a bit defensive. We will have the DRS, so hopefully we can try and capitalise and get a better run out of the final couple of corners here. And are we going to be able to get the drive down towards turn 1 here? Surely we're going to be able to do this time around with the DRS there. And yeah, Danny Rick, a sitting duck as we head down towards turn 1. They're 212 miles an hour. What a beautiful number that is as we head in towards the first braking zone there. Ricciardo tries to get the nose back at the inside, but, you know, too late at the end of the day there. And it would take us on towards the pit stop window here in this Grand Prix. The AI, a lot of them obviously having to take the 2-stop strategy in this race here. And it was going to be interesting to see how, you know, how much they'd be able to fight back in the latter stages of this Grand Prix here. But over the next couple of laps, obviously, we would slowly but surely move our way up the order here, see where we inherit in this Grand Prix here, because a lot of these guys, you know, towards the back end of this Grand Prix, you know, we could be fighting with at the end of the day there. I don't think we're going to have much to fight with, but we're certainly going to give it our best nonetheless there. Up into P6 now of this Grand Prix now as we head on towards the end of lap 10 here. And I think Danny Rick had sort of just decided as well, we may as well try and, you know, play this race together at the moment here. You can see now up all the way up into P4 of this Grand Prix there. And Max Verstappen, he was obviously leading the race just prior to this. He's come back out on a set of the hard compound tyres here, so we're effectively up into a net P2 of this Grand Prix here. So this was really, really working out well for us at the moment. I can't remember the last time. It must have been the Belgian Grand Prix last season where we ran anywhere near this high in the HAAS Road to Glory career mode. It really just hasn't happened that often ever since season 1 there. And you can see, starting lap 12 now, we were all the way up into second place of this Grand Prix here. And, you know, this was going to be a battle for position. You know, everyone still had one more, well, a lot of drivers still had one more stop to go of this Grand Prix here. I think Verstappen is probably going to try and go to the end. I think the Red Bull of Gasly, as well as I think it was Bottas as well in P3 there. We're probably going to try and look towards the end of this Grand Prix here, but we need to try and play our own race at the moment here. You can see already by the end of lap 12 here, Sebastian Vettel in that racing point. Very, very feisty there. Almost runs in, you know, completely clashes into the back of me as we head in towards the final couple of corners there. But that racing point, a rocket ship around well, I mean, both circuits so far that we've raced at this season. And just look at the way Sebastian Vettel flies past us down in towards turn 1 there. I think Racing Point are running a completely maxed out Mercedes power unit, even I should say, in this career mode. They've got very, very good aero, very, very good chassis. They are looking like ones to beat in this series so far there. But at the end of lap 13 though, we would dive it in for our one and hopefully only pit stop of this Grand Prix there. Daniel Ricciardo would follow us in as well here, so we have very much stuck together in the opening half of this Grand Prix. And well, last time out we were trying to close down the gap to Danny Rick. This time around we're just trying to hold on to it at the moment there. Get a nice tidy pit stop, and we just about slot out ahead of him as well there. So that could be absolutely critical in this Grand Prix as well there, as we make the long run down towards turn 1 here. Where are we going to come back out in this Grand Prix? A lot of the drivers around us have got to make another pit stop in this race there, and you can see heading down in towards the first corner there, we have a look up the inside of Jiv, and actually there everyone's got a concertina up there. Ricciardo actually gets squeezed out by Kimi Raikkonen just behind as well here, and as we now head up the hill as well, the yellow flags have come out. What is this all about? I think that is someone just behind us there. It's an Alfa Romeo going slowly there. I think that's Kimi Raikkonen on board. Well, having a look from the off-board cameras even, I should say there. Raikkonen, last time out it looked like it was an electronics failure. This time around the engine blows up in spectacular fashion there. I think the camera work has something left to be desired in this Grand Prix there. But Raikkonen, 2 DNFs in a row in the HAAS Road to Glory career mode there, Season 3. And really, not the start to the season he would have wanted. Perhaps this is his final season in Formula 1. We shall have to wait and see there. But yeah, Kimi Raikkonen, the first casualty of the day there, once again in this HAAS Road to Glory career mode. Are we going to see Albon join him on the sidelines? I do hope not at the end of the day there. But still, we were trying to close up the gap towards Lance Stroll as well here on a set of the medium compound tyres. So he does have a bit of a tyre advantage at the moment, but we are on a much fresher set as well as obviously the pace in this HAAS car certainly a bit better than the Mclaren as well. You know, we had a lot of good battles with Carlos Sainz in Season 2, but we are slowly but surely moving our way further up the field there. We're almost back onto the rear of Mercedes as well here at the moment. You know, we're definitely closing up the gap to those guys as well as we head in towards the final couple of corners of lap 14 here now, all over the back of Lance Stroll here, and he's actually going to dive it into the pit lane there. So the AI really trying to do 2 short stints in the early stages of these Grand Prix there, and that's going to move ourselves back up into P13 of this race now, all over the back of my teammate Roman Grosjean here. To see by the end of lap 16 though, it would be Grosjean. Is he going to dive it into the pits? No, I think he's going to try and go through to the end of this Grand Prix as well here, but you know, those tyres are going to be shot by the end of the day there. We get back up the inside there, and we're actually now all the way back up into P10 of this Grand Prix here, so having a really good race out at the moment there. Grosjean up into P11 of this race as well. I'm sure we take P10 and 11 in this Grand Prix as well there. It must have obviously been Season 1, but I can't legitimately remember the last time Roman Grosjean scored a point in this HAAS Road to Glory career there. We can see over the next couple of laps though, still trying to capitalise and make up a couple more places whilst we can here. We've got the Williams of Lando Norris, both Brits in the pit lane there. Hamilton as well diving it in, so I think we've got 4 Brits inside 5 places here, because we've got Devon Butler just a few seconds up the road as well here. But over the next couple of laps, we were definitely going to be under a lot of pressure from a lot of quicker cars just behind us as well here. Charles Leclerc in the Renault car as well, Lewis Hamilton as well in that Renault, and those guys show really good one-lap pace in the early stages of qualifying, and then it all just seems to fall apart for the pair of them there as you get in towards Q3, and especially in the races as well here. You know, I mean, that car, at least on paper, should be at least fighting for podiums in this series. And so far, I mean, they're at the latter stages of the points at the moment here. And Charles Leclerc is helping me out down towards turn 1. They're not letting Lewis Hamilton pass me as well. There. Lucas Weber comes out the pit lane just ahead of all three of us there. So that's hopefully going to help him out as well in this Grand Prix. But Hamilton, though, he was obviously going to be piling on the pressure very, very quickly here. And although we might be able to match these guys down the straights through the twisty bits, obviously we were losing all our time there. And as we head through the final couple of corners of lap 19 here, you can see Hamilton now, he was piling on the pressure. And, you know, we were playing sensibly. There was nothing we were going to be able to do in this Grand Prix nonetheless. And Hamilton gets up the inside on the long, long run down towards turn 1 there. Bottas, though, exiting out the pit lane as well, is going to try and keep the nose in as well. So we're 3 wide as we head through the first couple of corners there. Bottas bails out through turn 1 there. We get right around the outside of Lewis Hamilton once again there, and up towards turn 3 and turn 4 here. We are once again going to try and go 3 wide with both of the ex-Mercedes drivers here. We're going to get the squeeze on the exit of the corner there, and well, really, we were just going to get hung out to dry. I don't think this is a battle that we're really going to stand much of a chance in here. And to be honest, at this point, I'm not even sure Hamilton and Bottas have heard of me in the HAAS Road to Glory crew. They, you know, apart from that one win we got in it season 1, there, those guys, you know, have been miles ahead of me pretty much every Grand Prix in this season here. But as we head on towards the next couple of laps, though, will be Lando Norris slowly but surely trying to apply the pressure as well here. And this Williams car definitely was one that I felt I could try and hold my own against. It might also be the fact that P10 at the moment here, could this be our first points of the season? I'm sure Lando Norris is going to try and put pace to that as he gets up the inside with just 6 laps to go of this Grand Prix here. But the Williams car definitely still has a pace advantage over ourselves here. But I felt at the moment we could try and stick with him, you know, especially if he was going to try and get us there. You know, we had a couple of big straights as well, getting a bit overexcited there and actually hit the pause menu as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. You know, I definitely felt we could try and at least give the Williams a run for our money at the moment, especially as we were on the cusp of points as well. I was certainly not willing to give up that easily in this Grand Prix there. Activate the DRS once again, overtake mode, rich revs, everything like that as we head down in towards turn 1 there. And Norris, again, is just going to be a sitting duck, 216 miles an hour as we head in towards the first braking zone there. We get the car slowed down nice and tidily. Is Norris going to be able to keep the nose there? No, he is not. And yeah, we now move ourselves back up into the points of this Grand Prix here. And Norris, he'd have to sort of wind himself up for a couple of laps, gear himself up, save a bit of everything, and then really be able to go for it. He wasn't really able to give it a crack every single lap in this Grand Prix here. So if we could just try and play defensive when we needed to here, we could really be look in good stead here through the final few laps of this Grand Prix. And like I said, we weren't going to give up with this one as well here. The opportunity of points was certainly calling at the moment here. And now on to lap 27. Are we going to see a repeat from Lando Norris once again here? I don't think there's going to be much we can do in terms of defense there. If he's got the run, he's got the run there. We tried to give him the squeeze this time around there, but he hangs us out to dry over the curbs there. And while Norris back up once again into P10 of this Grand Prix with just a couple of laps to go here, we do need to try and stay close to him as we head through the final couple of corners because, well, once again, I'm not willing to give up on this fight here. The opportunity for a point, I don't know how many we're going to get in at the early stages of this season. I hope it's quite a lot, but I don't always remain optimistic as well here. Once again, are we going to see a repeat of what we did a few laps back? Is Norris going to be a bit wiser to it as well? 2 laps to go of this race. He does play defensive, but again, nothing he can do as we head down in towards turn 1 of this race there, and just 6.5 miles to go of this Bahrain Grand Prix. Are we going to be able to hold on to Lando Norris just behind us here? I'm sure he's still going to try and apply the pressure here, all or nothing, in towards the final couple of laps of this Grand Prix now. As we head onto the final lap of this Bahrain Grand Prix, Lando Norris is still stuck in the slipstream here, stuck in the dirty air of our HAAS car there. As we exit out of the final couple of corners there, actually make a bit of a mistake and run wide, using a bit of the runoff area to our advantage there. New PB of the Grand Prix as well there. This car was really starting to come alive at the end of this race, just like we saw back in Australia here. And this could be critical as we head through the first couple of corners here. Try to get the drive nice and tidy as we head out through T1 and T2 there. Yellow flags have been called out as well there, and that is Bottas out of this Grand Prix there. And at the same time though, Lando Norris has just slipped ahead of us before the yellow flags there. He couldn't have timed that much better if he tried there. Heartbreak for Valtteri Bottas in this Grand Prix there. Lando Norris though slots himself up into P9 of this race. We're going to go full send though into the hairpin. A lot of contact between the pair of us there. Very aggressive move. I'll hold my hands up and admit at this late stage of the Grand Prix there. But, you know, the opportunity for points, it is just doubled in this race. So I would much rather double our points in this Grand Prix there. I mean, P10 to P9 doesn't sound like a great improvement, but you know, at the moment, like I said, I don't know how many opportunities we're going to get here. Lando Norris round the outside, though. Is he going to be able to make that move? What? No, he's not. We are aware of it. And we do play the defensive card as we head in towards the final few corners of this Grand Prix. Just one sector to go now, and Lando Norris just 4 tenths back, less than 4 tenths back, as we head over the final sector point there. And in towards the final corners, though, he's not going to be close enough to get a run in towards the final corner of this race there. And through the final turn we go, down towards the start-finish line there. It's going to be P9 at the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And finally we get some points here in Bahrain. It has not been a track that has suited me well in the past here. And finally, you know, probably with one of our weakest cars so far heading into this circuit, we were really happy to try and take home a couple of points in that Grand Prix. Racing Point though as well, they came into this season looking like they could dominate in the early stages. Australia didn't quite go to plan, but Sebastian Vettel was a man on a mission here in round 2 of the season. What was it, P7 on the grid, I think, in this racer, and he did come through for the race win at the end of the day there. Fantastic job by him. Devon Butler up in P8 there, the first points for Mercedes as well. A fantastic job. Gotta hold my hands up and admit, we're meant to be bitter rivals in this series, but he really did take everything he possibly could out of that Mercedes car at the end of the day there. But it is Sebastian Vettel, a double Racing Point podium, 2 Germans on the podium. Can't remember the last time that happened in Formula 1 as well. There with Verstappen, the Dutchman, joining him there in P2. I'm sure he's not too happy there, but honestly, with the Red Bull pace at the moment, P2 is certainly something they should be very happy with at the end of the day there. And obviously the champagne spraying, everything like that. Sebastian Vettel, Racing Point's first race win of the New World Championship. Are we going to be looking at Sebastian Vettel making his march on a 6th Formula 1 World title? It would be absolutely phenomenal to see at the end of the day there. But having a look at the final race results, like I said, it was Sebastian Vettel from P7 on the grid that did take home the race victory. Fastest lap as well, the full 26 points. I think that's both races so far this season. He's been able to get fastest lap as well there. Verstappen holds on for P2 at the end though, but like I said, really with the race, with the Red Bull's pace at the moment, that is a fantastic job by him. Now Hulkenberg moves up from P5 to P3 at the end of the day there, and Gasly holds on 4th to 4th, a fairly quiet race for him in the end there. Lucas Weber in at P5, Charles Leclerc in 6th, and then the Brits round out the top 10 there. Hamilton, Butler, myself, and Lando Norris, obviously with George Russell no longer with a drive in F1 there. Obviously, all 4 Brits in a row. Sergio Perez in 11th. What a downfall it's been from him, from dominating the late stages of the last season to not even able to score in the second round of 2021 there. Danny Rick in P12 there as head of my teammate Romain Grosjean in P13. Ahead of Sainz, and then I think it was Valtteri Bottas, obviously, despite the DNF, in P15. Now, ahead of Stroll, Albon, Giovinazzi, and Kvyat there, with Raikkonen the only other man, obviously, not to really get classified at the end of the day. Bottas to obviously get P15 in the end there. And having a look at the Drivers' World Championship, like I said, it is Sebastian Vettel who reclaims the lead at the top step there. Ahead of Lucas Weber, 2 Germans at the top there. All 3 Germans inside the top 5 there, with the Red Bulls joining them as well there. Sebastian Vettel jumps Weber, Max Verstappen jumps Gasly, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, and Hamilton all jump past Valtteri Bottas there, with Devon Butler jumping Lando Norris, and we move ourselves clear of Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo at the end of the day. There was still my teammate Romain Grosjean, both McLarens, both Toro Rossos, and both of the Alfa Romeos yet to score. Kimi Raikkonen yet to even finish so far in this season. Not really a day, or not obviously the start of the season for him to remember in the end there. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, if I'm not mistaken, Racing Point do now jump up to the top of the championship. 5 points ahead of Red Bull there, with Ferrari dropping down to P3 there. Renault hold on to 4th, Mercedes jump Williams into P5 there, and we jump Toro Rosso now onto the board as well there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you do get yourself subscribed as well if you're new and you do want to see more of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode. But that'll do us then for round 2 of the season. Hopefully I will see you guys next time out for the Chinese Grand Prix.